Hello YouTube, welcome to another one of my Duel Links videos. Today I have for you an updated Bujin deck. The last deck I made using Bujins was a 30 carder. I still kind of believe that 30 card grass is greener Bujins are maybe a little bit stronger than this, but I didn't even want to just give you another 30 card, so I want to give it the 20 card version a chance. And this is the build I went with. I still only have 2 Yamato. I never went back to the box, so I'm gonna have to rock 2 of them. I went with 3 Bujin Mikasuchi. I really like this card. This card, not only it's a 1900 Beast Warrior, so you're gonna be able to activate all your graveyard effects. It kind of doubles as what's this card? It lets you not run this card anymore. Bujin Guy Pavo used to be a key piece in my decks because I only had the 2 Yamato, and no longer do you really have to run this because it was kind of a dead card at some point. Now you can use Mikasuchi for kind of the same purpose. If your Beast Warrior monster gets destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon it from the hand. So it's not from the deck like Pavo, but at least it's not. It doesn't feel like dead weight in the deck. So I like the 3 Mikasuchi. We have 3 Bujin Guy Quillin, which lets you destroy a face-up card your opponent controls. You have to control a Beast Warrior type monster, so you have to have either Yamato or Mikasuchi on the field. I'm running 1 Bujin Guy Boar, which lets you switch an attack position monster your opponent controls into defense position and make their defense 0 until the end of the turn. I just teched 1 in because I didn't go full Centipede. I was running 3 Centipede at one point, but this card, it felt good like a 1-of. The fact that it's 1900, you can sometimes set it to stall for a little bit. And then the spell and traps was solely thinking on Sylvans because that's what I kept running into. So I went with 2 Tribute to the Doom because you want these monsters in the graveyard, and if you draw into them, the only way to get them in the grave is either by having a Yamato on the field and discarding, or sending them on the field, and that's not very efficient. So I went with double Tribute to the Doom and also double Divine Wrath for monster effects that are getting more and more popular throughout the game. So 2 Divine Wrath, 2 enemy controllers for basic back row, 1 Wall Disruption, basic back row, and then 2 powerful rebirths. The downside to both Mikasuchi and Yamato is that you can only control one on the field. So the most monsters you're gonna have is probably 1 Yamato and 1 Mikasuchi because you never really summon any of these. So a lot of times I'll go for the econ take using either of them, and then if I have a backup powerful rebirth, I can just summon that and try to swing for game that way. We're rocking Restart because we have this on Bonds, which is the next character I'm trying to level up, and because we're trying to start the game with either Yamato or Mikasuchi so that our graveyard effects are live. But let's get into some replays. First up, we got a Jesse Anderson. I might still come back and do a 30 carder version if you guys are interested in that, so definitely let me know. I was running Cosmic Cyclone at one point, but you already have so many things that can destroy back row that if it didn't feel necessary. The thought was to use it against Amazoness Onslaught so that they don't get the special summon, but I kept running into spellbooks, and if you banish their card, it doesn't really affect them because they have a card that gets a banished back to the hand. So I ended up cutting the Cosmic Cyclone. He's using Transcendent Crystals. We're gonna banish 1 Regeki, very fortunate. And I go ahead and put Quillin on the graveyard to destroy the face-up Mammoth. Unfortunately, I attack right into a mirror wall. So in that sense, I would have been better off with Centipede and destroying the face down. But I really thought it was Regeki or something. I'm still feeling pretty good because I have enemy controller and I have Mikasuchi. So if he gets rid of my Yamato, I still have my graveyard effects live. I take the damage, there's no point in using my enemy controller. I decide to save that for the Econ Cheese. And we win the game. Very interesting that he was using Close Forest. All beast type monsters you control gain 100 attack. For each monster in your graveyard, field spell cards cannot be activated. Field spell cards cannot be activated during the turn this card is destroyed. Cool, cool. We have Mako Tsunami next. Mattboy112. Shoutouts to them. Going second with this deck, it's okay. You rather go first, but going second is just fine. And we have the Divine Wrath, which is great, especially since we don't have a Yamato to put our to start feeding our graveyard. So we're gonna use that Divine Wrath to fit the grave with Centipede. When I saw the Golden Flying Fish, I was just licking my chops. I was waiting for him to activate the effect so I could de-wrath him. And now I have my Centipede in the grave, so I'm gonna be able to take care of that face down. Summon Yamato, hit him for 18, and then I set myself up for next turn with another Centipede. Because if he were to draw a monster, I can just econ that. Destroy the face down, which was an enemy controller. And that's the game. Pretty easy. Divine Wrath definitely swung all the momentum into my favor. Got a Joy Wheeler next. Running 23 card life point boost alpha. Had no idea what I was playing up against. We pick up Divine Wrath, which is good. Sets a monster, sets a card. I wasn't sure if this was Sylvan's, so instead of attacking that, I ended my turn so I could have my Divine Wrath live. Put a Centipede in the grave just to set it up for next turn. We're gonna see Sylvan Marshal leave, activate the effect. And I rolled the dice hoping that he wouldn't mill anything to destroy my my Yamato, because I figured this was a Komoshrumo and I'd rather, negate the 5 mills than the 2 mills. That was the thought process there. So we're gonna destroy one of the or attempt to destroy that back row with Centipede. And I feel like he negated mainly to get the Rose Lover into the graveyard. So I wasn't super worried about this card. And I decided to just attack into the Marshal Leaf. Luckily it's nothing, so I get to destroy the Marshal Leaf, but now, and I still have my Divine Wrath, which I used to negate Rose Lover. The reason why obviously I went for Rose Lover is because if he summons something with Rose Lover, I can't de-wrath that, that monster whenever it activates the effect, so I had to stop the summon itself. We're gonna see the flip, which was Carrot Weight Champion. I used my enemy controller. I'm gonna get rid of that back row, which was a Wall of D. Very surprised that he didn't activate this whenever I attacked the Marshal Leaf. I have no idea why. I feel like that would have swung the game into his favor. Instead, I get to hit him for 1900. And I set up with Boar because I was expecting a big monster to be summoned here. He does not, however, but he picks up a Magical Merchant. So there's the Rose Lover and a Komoshrumo. Fortunately, he's going to hit my Cyclone, which I'm okay with losing Cyclone since we have Centipedes and stuff to take care of back row, and he's really not running a lot of back row because he's a Sylvan player. So I just put a Quillin in the graveyard. We're gonna see Mariña, Princess of Sunflowers. I guess the anti-magic arrows was just to be safe, but this was already unaffected by traps. My powerful burn wasn't gonna do anything anyway. But I used my Quillin to destroy the face up. We're gonna see a wall disruption. Doesn't matter, I still win the game through that. But very, very odd choice to run Sylvans with 23 cards and life point boost alpha. I was very confused to say the least. We got a Seto Kaiba next. Heavy starter. I didn't notice that was his skill whenever I played this guy. Oh yeah, you might see here why I ended up taking out the Cosmic Cyclone. It's gonna activate Spellbook of Master, basic Spellbook shenanigans. But he adds Spellbook of Eternity, which means he can just grab this card after I banish it, and he does just that. At least I'm able to deal a lot of damage by killing his Spellbook Magician of Prophecy, and that damage really adds up. But he's gonna activate Eternity, so he gets his Spellbook of Fate right away. Bummer. And he banishes my Yamato. So he went for the OTK here, which is super unfortunate. Otherwise, I would have been able to win next game. But I have to, next turn. But I have to use my powerful Rebirth here. He destroys my my monster and gets a search. I get my Tribute to the Doom. Destroy the Quillin. And that's why I meant I would have been able to win the game, because I would have been able to summon a monster back. I would have gone Tribute to the Doom, summon my monster with Powerful Rebirth, and then win the game that way. But he's down to 800 life points, which is very clutch, because he's gonna go Book of Secrets, get another Magician of Prophecy. And at this point, I knew if he didn't end with a face down, I was gonna win the game, because anything I draw hopefully would have been big enough to finish him. However, Bujin War only has 1100 attack, so if I attack over his Magician of Prophecy, that leaves him with 200 life points. Did not expect him to summon the Tricky, so that had to change my plans. I go for the Tribute to the Doom on the Tricky instead, and like I said, he lives with 200 life points. Has another Magician of Prophecy, and this was a key mistake in my opinion. He summoned the this guy, Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. Goes for Spellbook of Power, destroys me, and if he wanted to survive, this is all he would have needed to do. He destroys my monster, so he searches Spellbook of Fate. Because it's the battle phase, he can't set it anymore. But he could have used it right then to flip this into defense mode and, you know, survive an extra turn that way. Because now all I do is top deck a monster, summon that, and beat him up. Came that to a top deck situation, which is not ideal, but hey man, spellbooks are strong. Yeah, that's gonna be it for this deck. There's a lot of the new cards that I didn't use, because as I mentioned, I feel like those would go better on a 30 card deck. I feel like as far as 20 card decks, this one was working pretty well for me, and I did mess with a few other builds as I played through it today. But hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe if you want. Join my Discord if you haven't. The link will be down in the description, along with my PayPal link if you guys want to support my channel, support my content. I really appreciate that. And till next time.